Hello everyone, in this video we will learn about absorption of water by the soil. So do all the soil is absorbing the same amount of water or they are absorbing different amount of water? So to check this we have to perform an activity. So in this activity we have to take a plastic funnel and we have to take a filter paper. We can also use a piece of a newspaper sheet also. Now we have to fold and we have to make a cone by using this filter paper or newspaper sheet. Now we have to weight 50 grams of dry soil which is in powder form and we have to pour into the funnel. Now measure the certain amount of water in the measuring cylinder and pour it drop by drop on the soil. So what we are taking, first of all we have to take the funnel. In this funnel we are making a funnel by using a filter paper or a newspaper sheet. Then we have to weight 50 grams of dry soil which is in powder form. We have to pour this soil in the funnel. Then we have to measure a certain amount of water. Suppose we are taking 50 ml of water. Then we have to use this water or we have to pour this water in that soil drop by drop. And we have to be careful that it should not split outside. So in this diagram we can easily see that we are taking the funnel and we are making another funnel by using the filter paper or a newspaper sheet. Then we are adding a 50 gram of soil, dry powdered soil in the funnel. Then we are adding a certain amount of water by using a dropper in it. So drop by drop we are adding the water, and when the water is coming out from the funnel then we have to stop pouring the water. So what we are taking the funnel. In this funnel, we are making another funnel by using a filter paper or a newspaper sheet. We are adding 50 grams of dry powder soil in this funnel, and then we are taking water of certain amount and we are pouring that water drop by drop in this soil. Now, whenever the water is coming out from the funnel, we are stopping it. Now, whatever the water is left after pouring, we have to subtract that amount to the previous amount. So now suppose at previous the amount of water that we took is around 50 ml, and after pouring the water in the soil the remaining water is 40 ml. So 10 ml of water is poured inside the soil. So we have to minus that 40 from the 50, so we will get the 10. So that 10 ml is inside the soil. So that much water is absorbed by the soil. Now we have to do some calculation in this. First of all, we note about the weight of the soil. So the weight of the soil at previous was 50 grams and the initial volume of water in the measuring cylinder was U. Suppose we are taking 50 ml, so U is 50. Now the final volume of the water in the measuring cylinder, it will be V ml. So V, suppose it was 40 ml. So V was 40. Now the volume of water absorbed by the soil. So we have to minus U from the V. So suppose the U was 50 and the V was 40. Then 50 minus 40 equals to 10. So 10 is the amount of water that is absorbed by the soil. Now the weight of the water absorbed by the soil. In the previous one, when we are taking the volume of water absorbed by the soil, it is U minus V ml. But when we are taking the weight of the water absorbed by the soil, then it will also the U minus V in grams. Previously it was taken in ml, but in weight we are taking it in gram, because 1 ml of water has weight equal to 1 gram. So that is why that much amount of water is absorbed by the soil in ml, it will be in the grams. Now the percentage of water absorbed by the soil. So we have to calculate by using the formula. It is U minus V. So U is the initial volume of water, V is the final volume of water, divided by 50. 50 is the weight of the soil that we took at the previous, and multiplied by 100. So by using this formula we can easily calculate the percentage of water absorbed by the soil. So U, it is the initial volume, V is the final volume of water, divided by 50. 50 is the weight of the soil we took in funnel, and multiplied by 100. So by using this formula, we can easily calculate the percentage of water absorbed by the soil. Now by using this activity, we have to perform it with other samples also. Suppose we are taking first the garden soil, then we have to take the other soil sample which is from the roadside. So then we have to compare it. So we will find that which one is having the good water holding capacity or water retaining capacity, and which one is able to retain more water. And similarly, we can also identify that which soil is having the more percolating power. Percolating means when the water is flowing out from the soil, we call it percolation. So which soil is able to retain more water and which soil is not able to retain more water, we can identify by using this activity. Now soil and crops. So we all know that in different parts of India or different parts of the world, we are having different type of soil that is found there. And in some places we found the clay soil, in some parts we are finding the loamy soil, and some of the part are having the sandy soil. So all these type of soils are found in different type of areas in the India. Now soil is affected by the wind, rainfall, temperature, light and humidity, and these are the some important climatic factors which affect the soil profile and bring change in the soil structure. So if any area is having a high rainfall, if that area is having the high temperature or high light, and if it having the high humidity, so all these factors are affecting the soil and it will change its structures. Now the factors and the components of the soil, it determine the various type of vegetation and crops that might grown in that region. That means whatever the factors are there and whatever the compounds or components which are present inside the soil, so these two are determining that which type of vegetation or plant will grow in that region. Now the clay and loamy soil are both suitable to grow cereal like wheat and gram. Such soils are good at the retaining water. Just because they are able to retain more water, in that case these type of vegetation can easily grow there. Now for paddy, means for rice, soil is rich in clay and organic matter and having a good capacity of retaining water are ideal. So if any soil is able to hold more water, it is having the more organic component, and it is good, it is able to retain more water holding capacity, then this is ideal for the paddy production. Now for lentils. So these lentils that we also call the masoor and other pulses, whatever the pulses are there. So loamy soil which drain water easily is required. So any soil that loamy soil, it is able to drain the water easily. So that type of soil is required, because if the water is collected inside the soil, then these type of pulses will not grow properly. Now for cotton, sandy loam or loam soil which drain water easily is required, and that can hold plenty of air are more suitable. So these type of properties should be found in that soil which is in which we are growing the cotton plants. Now crops such as the wheat are grown in the fine clay soil because they are rich in humus and very fertile. And these type of soil, when they are getting the proper components, then we are deciding that which type of crop we have to plant there, and we are getting the good amount of production. Now another topic is there, soil erosion. So whenever the removal of land surface by wind or water or ice is known as the erosion. So whenever the upper surface of the water soil will be removed by wind, water or ice, then we called it erosion. Just because plants' roots are firmly and tightly bind the soil, because their roots are able to bind the soil particles, in that case, in the absence of plant, what is happening, the soil became loose, and whenever the soil became loose, it can easily moved away by the wind or the flowing water. Now this erosion is more severe in that area where the plantation is very much less or it is a desert region. So in desert or any area where the plantation is very much less, in that area the rate of soil erosion will also increase. Now, so the cutting of trees and the deforestation should be prevented, and effort should be made to increase the green areas. So just because plants are able to hold more soil, so we have to promote the afforestation and we have to decrease the deforestation. So by using these technique, we can easily reduce the soil erosion. Now there is a case study in your lesson. So in this, there is a place Sohagpur in Madhya Pradesh, and here the soil made item like surai, matka, and kalas. So these type of items are more famous as compared to other places. The reason behind that, the surai and matkas that are formed here, they are able to cool water more as compared to other matkas and surai which is made in other places. So the reason behind that is whenever they are making the surai and matkas, so they have to use clay or soil, whatever the soil they are using. So in this soil or clay, they are adding horse dung, and this horse dung is mixed equally in the clay. And whenever they are making the surai and matkas, and whenever they are burning it, whenever they are heating it, so at that time whatever the horse dung is there, it will completely burn and it will make minute pores in it. So just because of these minute pores, the water which is filled inside that surai, it will coming out very slowly, it will seeping out. And after that, it will collect on the surface of the surai. And when the air is passes on this water, it will start evaporating. And due to evaporation of water, the cooling occurs, and that cooling will make the inside water cool, and that is why the surai which is made here, it is able to cool water more as compared to other surai.